live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest here in the heart of Europe. I hope everybody has had a good start to their weekend or is having a good weekend. I know weekends tend to vary for some people and in some countries. Anyhow, I hope you're staying healthy and strong and studying lots and lots of English. In this class, we are looking at speaking part 2, the cue card, working our way through a band 9 example with the right steps. And I can see we have lots of members in the class. Hi, Samuel. Hi, Khyber, Maksud, Patrick. You found it. Nice. Hi, Hina. Hi, Dr. Krishna, Amir. Good to see all of you. Amir, I hope your exam went really well. I see that. Fantastic. Thanks for coming back and sending your thanks. I will keep my fingers crossed that you get a really, really high score. Awesome. All right, students, while we wait for a few more members, this lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS success, visit us there. And for general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. On both of our sites, we help thousands of students every month to increase their band scores and improve English and communication. The academic website looks like this with the blue background. You can click that big red button to join the premium package. And for the general version of the test, it's the green background. Click that big red button. On both of those sites, we have over 100 hours of HD video lessons, original practice exams. You can practice your speaking for free. Actually, I'll show that, students, in both of the classes today because I really want you to use these. So let me just darken up the screen a little bit. I know some of you have seen this before, but keep in mind that there are lots of new students always that have not seen this, and it's really valuable for them. So on the website, at the top here, you log into your My Student account. And students, you can use this option for free, 100% free, okay? So in the website, you have lots and lots of goodies. And then here, you'll see this button called Student Partner Speaking. And this is in the General IELTS exam or General IELTS website also. In fact, the General IELTS website and the academic website, they link the students together. Okay, so you see this My Student Partner Speaking button. You click on that, and then it will ask you to accept the agreement that you're going to be nice with other students, and then it will open up a new page for you, and you will almost always see students in here now. So you see that there's let's see who's in here right now. Kabir is in here. There's a Mohammed in here. There's a Jafar in here. There's a Sami in here right now. These are real people in different parts of the world. They're practicing their speaking with other students. You can do audio, video, text. Send a text message, say hello, and then link up. And you'll also find sample questions. And we're going to be uploading more and more. So keep checking these. There's scripts here. You can click on these, and then let's go to places, for example. So you click on places, and then it will give you this in another window, so you can ask these questions from the person, okay? And you can see there's several here. There's beautiful building, entertaining place, so you can go to a different one, polluted place. So lots and lots of questions to practice with the other students. Amir's like, fantastic. Yeah, so use that. It's free. Students, there's no catch. That's absolutely free to use. So again, you go to aehelp.com or gieltshelp.com. You can create a free account when you click on the try demo, the green button. That will give you a free account. And you can actually use the speaking with other students, that function for free in the free account with a lot of other materials, okay? So make sure to do that, okay? This is a speaking class, so it's important for me to share that with you. All right, let's get back into today's lesson. Please go there. There's always students waiting. and keep the window open. If you can't connect with a student the first time, don't be shy. Just wait. Try to connect with a different student. Some countries, it's difficult to connect with video chat, but other countries it works, so just try, okay? Abhishek says, I always use it. It's really an amazing feature. That's really smart of you, Abhishek, to use that feature of the website. A lot of students are using it, so that's great, okay? All right. So if you have a question, if something's not clear, if you're having any problems with our websites or our applications, or with the exam, the IELTS, just send us an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will happily answer your questions. Okay. All right. Now, today we have this speaking part 2 class right now, so make sure to speak, members. Repeat me as much as possible. I'm speaking at a natural, native English speed and intonation. For those of you who aren't sure, my English is West Coast North American. So I come from Victoria, which is very, very much West Coast Canada. But of course, West Coast Canada speaks a very similar English to West Coast United States. So in Vancouver, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, you will find a lot of very similar kinds of English. And then East Coast has kind of a similar English. It's a bit different. And then Central, Southern, so kind of like that. But anyway, I'm West Coast Canadian. It's a clear accent, so practice it, repeat me. It's good. After this class, we'll have speaking part 3, where everybody can join the chat. Okay. Now, for all of our viewers, I see lots of people are watching. Definitely watch today's class right now as well, because speaking part 3 is usually connected to speaking part 2. Okay. All right. You're very welcome, Kyber. I appreciate you appreciating me. Okay, so here we go with today's question, and this was actually sent by one of our members. I can't remember who sent it, but I know it was a member, and I think they got it from maybe a previous exam. So thank you for sending the question. Of course, that's one of the benefits of being a member, is you can send questions to request for classes. So members, if you have a question that you find difficult, it's been bothering you, just send it to me and say, hey, Adrian, can you schedule this question for a class? And then I'll do my best, okay? So this was sent by a member, I think a week ago, roughly. And our first step, so you're in the IELTS speaking interview. The examiner has asked you about 5 or 6 questions for part 1. It's about at least 5 or 6 for part 1. And then they say, okay, that's the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, here's a card with some questions on it. Here's some note paper and a pencil. You will have 1 minute to look at the questions on the card. Think about your answer. Take notes in that time if you wish. And then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. So you're feeling good. You're feeling confident. You turn over the card. And this is what you see. Okay, so your first step is, of course, Maksud, I requested that. Okay, Maksud, thanks for requesting it. So there you go, Maksud. There is your request coming to fruition, into reality. So the first step here is read it. Read it carefully and read the topic sentence twice. Okay, so part 2. Describe a game or sport you enjoy playing. You should say what kind of sport it is, who you enjoy playing it with, where you play it, explain why you enjoy playing it. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you are going to say, and you will have 2 minutes to speak. Okay, wait, whoa, let's read this one more time, especially the first part. Describe a game or sport you enjoy playing. Okay, a little bit of an interesting concept hidden in there. So we read it twice. That's step 1, right? Many of you know this. That's why I'm not asking. So read the question carefully. read the topic statement twice and be very clear on what the assignment is. Okay. Now, and then you decide what kind of category or what kind of topic you're into, right? So is this a person, a place, an event, an object, or an idea? Very quickly, you will realize that here you're talking about an event, okay, which is a game or sport that you play. All right. So far so good, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's get back to the question here, because I have a question for you. So here, should you talk about both a game and a sport you enjoy playing, or just one of these? Jainil, yeah, it's absolutely an event. Boomy says it's kind of an object too, because sports involve objects, which is true. Kyber says, nope, you should just talk about one. So don't talk about a game and a sport. You should just talk about one, right? Yeah, absolutely, because you have the word or, right? This means just one. So not both. Okay, here's my next question. Why does this topic sentence say game or sport? So why would they do that? Why would they create something that's a little bit confusing like this? So why state both games and sports on this card? It's kind of confusing. So why would they do that? So why? Okay, Kyber says because they're the same. Okay, kind of. So Rajveer says it could be a computer game or an outdoor sport. Charlie says it could be an indoor or outdoor type of game or sport. Samuel says a console game. Yeah, so this is the tricky part here, and sometimes it's not because IELTS wants to be mean or tricky. It's because there isn't clarity in the language and in the culture, okay? And that's not the fault of IELTS. That's just the way it is. So here's something interesting to keep in mind. At times, there is confusion about whether an activity is a game or sport, okay? So they give you both. Give you an example. Football, is that a sport or a game? Football, would you say that's a sport or a game? Okay. How about billiards? How about chess? Okay. So Hassan says it's kind of a sport, it's kind of a game as well. Rashika agrees. How about swimming? Okay. So, all right, so you see what I'm doing here, right, Charlie? Right, Hina? Right, Rashika? It's kind of an intriguing question. So some people would say that billiards is not a sport, it's really just a game, right? Rajveer says chess is definitely a game, it's not a sport. But you'd be surprised, Rajveer and Bhumi, some people would actually call chess a sport. Okay, if you're in competitive chess where you have a timer, a clock, and you have to go from player to player, and you're playing for 3-4 hours, which is very mentally and physically fatiguing, some people would call that a sport. So it's difficult, right? Kyber says billiards is a game, but some people would say it's a sport. So there's ambiguity. That's right, Michael Fan. Okay, so there is ambiguity. But be careful. This question is likely not aiming at computer games. Okay? So a couple of you said, well, maybe it's like thinking like computer games. Like, do you like playing computer games? Notice how the questions here, they say what kind of sport it is, who you enjoy playing it with. So it's definitely not something that you really maybe do solo. Even swimming, you may be doing it with some other teammates that you practice with. So I'd be careful here. I would definitely try to stay away from a concept like an actual kind of board game or computer game or video game. If you chose that as the answer, you might be able to get an okay mark, but I don't think that it would be a wise decision. Okay? And I know, Lepouge, that they call online games esports, but I wouldn't do that. Okay? Personally, I wouldn't recommend going to the direction of video games and esports. Okay? So I would not recommend esports. So stay away from those if it's possible. I mean, if you absolutely have no idea about any kind of physical sport, even billiards or chess or darts or something like that, yeah, maybe, but I don't recommend it. I think you could speak clearer, more completely, more accurately talking about some kind of a game or a sport. Okay, volleyball would be a good choice. All right, so we know that it's an event. Of course, when we're talking about an event, we need to include time, right? We need to include location. We need to include attendees. We need to include experience. And also results, right? Results, experience can come kind of in that order, okay? All right. So that's usually what we do for events, right? Kind of in that order as well, okay? It makes sense to talk about it in this order for your listeners. So keep that in mind when you're writing your notes, okay? So keep this order in mind when you are taking down notes. All right, it's very important. All right, now, of course, as many of you know, the next step in your 1 minute planning is come up with 2 to 3 ideas that are original and easy to talk about. So definitely don't choose a sport that you have no idea about, okay? And don't choose a sport that you think everybody will talk about. So right away, we're going to not talk about football, okay? So do not talk about football if possible. I mean, if you have no idea of any other sport, yeah, sure. But I would avoid football because it's arguably one of the most popular sports. For people in India, I would avoid cricket, okay, especially. Okay, the reason why is because all of the other students, or many of the other students, are talking about football and cricket. And if you're talking about football and cricket, you're not going to sound original, okay? So when you're practicing for the exam, because talking about sports or sports-related activities is very popular, I highly, highly recommend practicing talking about one other sport other than cricket in India and other than football globally, just because they're so popular. If you can talk about volleyball, basketball, swimming, golf, Abhishek, powerlifting, snowboarding, you're going to likely get a better score just for the fact that you will sound original, which will immediately seem like you have much better lexical resource. You have more vocabulary. You're not stuck talking about the same sport that everybody else is talking about. Okay, Maksud, table tennis, ping pong, absolutely tennis as well, billiards, Dr. Krishna, sure. So all of those are good. Okay, so let's make a list of these. So billiards, tennis, table tennis. Okay, swimming. Now again, think original, think easy. Okay, swimming. Powerlifting, I think that might be one word. Yep. Table tennis, powerlifting, sure, why not? Volleyball. Okay, let's stay with those. Okay, so I'm sure you can come up with lots. These are some good suggestions here. A few of you made these suggestions. Fishing Lapouge could be a good one as well. Okay, I'll throw that one in just for fun. Let's take a vote on these. Hockey, Sammy, absolutely. Hockey would be good, unless you're in Canada. Might be a very popular one, but yeah, hockey would be good. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and let's throw in maybe basketball as well. I have to. It's one of my favorite sports, basketball. Although that could be popular, especially in China. Basketball would be a very popular choice in China, so maybe in China, stay away from basketball. Okay, let's take a vote. Let's see if it's all over the place or if we get one kind of favorite. Abhishek says 6. Samuel says let's do 2, which is tennis. Dr. Krishna says 2. Michael says billiards. Kyber says billiards. Okay. All right. Abhishek says basketball. Okay. So we have a pretty good variety. I think it looks like tennis is coming up fairly popular. We've got 4 votes for that. And I think tennis is a pretty good one. Okay. There's a couple of unique vocabulary for tennis, but I think that would be a very good Alexander, no one wants powerlifting. Alexander, try powerlifting on your own. Students, if we're not picking your favorite, don't worry about it. Try that one on your own, record it on your phone, and then send it to me, and I'll definitely let you know how you're doing. So let's do tennis. Okay, why not? It's definitely going to be less popular of an answer. I suppose in Japan it might be a little bit more popular in some countries. But tennis, okay, so it's good. So our choice is tennis. All right, now useful notes about tennis. Okay, good. Tennis is good because it's a couples. So this is where you're doing some quick critical thinking. Tennis you definitely play with at least one other person, unless you're playing doubles where you're going to play with 3 other people. And then, of course, you could have a coach as well. So tennis or table tennis, Maksud, table tennis is okay too. It's kind of synonymous with tennis in different ways. So mornings and weekends. Okay, good. Give me some more. So very good. You're remembering the order, right, that we talked about. So when you're taking your notes, stick to this order: time, location, attendees, results, experience. Okay. So Hassan, club, local area. Sure. Let's be even more specific. Okay. Local club, you'll likely remember. So instead, I would say I'm just going to call it Delhi Tennis Club. Okay. Sure. Okay. Charlie says 10 minutes walk. Okay, sure. All right. So good. Now, give me a little bit of a description. So here, I probably would just say describe game. Okay. So again, remember your examiner is like an alien. So don't expect that they know what you know. They want to hear your English. So here, I want to kind of say, okay, describe game. All right. Now, Charlie says, playing with a close buddy of mine, Abhishek. Sure. Okay. And what if you play doubles? Okay, so maybe you play doubles with your brothers and your parents. Okay. Yeah, so for describing the game, Okay, rackets, court, net, ball. That's what you need. Okay, good. All right, so now you have the time, the location, a little bit about the game, who you're playing with. Okay, you can throw in some names. And then what's your experience with it? Okay, so again, keep the order in mind, right? So time, location, attendees, results, and experience. So with results and experience, give me a little bit about that. Okay, Abhishek, green ball, sure, it's a tennis ball. We don't have to really get into it, but give me a little bit about the results and the experience. So this is where you want to think quick, you want to be clever, you want to visualize. So why do you play tennis? What do you like about it? What does it mean for you? These are the questions you should be thinking about. Okay, good, Pooja. So the amount of time you've been playing. Okay, so very good. Since 10 years old. Okay, good. Hina, burn calories. Very good. Good cardio, right? It's a good cardio exercise. Very nice. Okay, Rajveer says trophies. Win lots. Exciting, right? So that kind of useful vocabulary. Okay, it's Samuel says mental game as well as physical. Very good, mental. Mental and muscular exercise. Okay, Jaineel says it's a very fast game. Team effort, yeah, if you're playing doubles, absolutely. Which is camaraderie, which I can never spell, but camaraderie is where you work together in teams and you build team spirit. Excellent. So a lot of great notes there, and that's what you want to work towards. So in that 1 minute, you want to really quickly go, okay, so I got to talk about sports or games. Tennis is going to be a good one here for me. It's original. Not many people are choosing it. Time, location, people I play with, a little bit about the game, why I like the game, what my history is with the game, coming up with all of these ideas. You're on the right track. You're going to do a really great job, okay? And you're going to get a very good band score, and you're going to set up for an excellent part 3. Okay, so next step, what is it? Very important step here before your 1 minute time is up. I think it's step number 4, yeah. So step 4, in the last 10 seconds of your prep time, what do? Yeah, Abhishek says 1 sentence. No, Alexander, the word comrade and camaraderie is used in English as well. Absolutely. It's an ancient word, and we use it in many languages. Yeah. Okay. So we come up with our first sentence. Yeah. Using the topic sentence of the question. I read a beautiful comment on one of our YouTube videos today where somebody said, hey, I used these strategies. I took the IELTS exam 3 times in the past. I always got 6.5. I got your videos. I learned these strategies, and I finally got 7. So I can't remember that person's name, but I was really happy to read that. Yeah, when you do these strategies, you can definitely get that extra half or full band and move on to bigger and better parts of life. Okay, so first sentence, using the topic sentence of the question, okay? So we go back, we take a look, and it says, describe a game or a sport you enjoy playing. So give me the full sentence for that. So what is a game or sport that you enjoy playing? Think about it like a question to you, right? What is a game or a sport that you enjoy to play? And then you can answer really nicely. Try to paraphrase, but if you can't, don't stress about it. Just get that sentence out. Okay, it's most important that you're accurate. You get that sentence out. Rajveer Singh says, I adore playing tennis in the evenings. at the 8-court Delhi Tennis Club. Wow, Rajveer, lots of content in there. That's beautiful. Samuel Sadir says, over the past 10 years, I've had the opportunity to play many sports, but none piqued my attention as much as tennis. Yeah, Samuel, it's not bad. Be even more direct. So just say a game that I love playing, also it's a sport, is tennis. Okay, so really get into it right away. Maksud, the sport that I love playing above all others is tennis. Very good. Sammy says, my most favorite game or sport is tennis. I really love playing it with my dad and also with others. Very good. Pooja says, ever since the age of 10, I've been playing my favorite sport, which is tennis. Okay, good. Now, Rajveer, it's nice that you rolled in a lot of information. Like the sport I love playing the most is tennis on mornings and weekends at my local club, the New Delhi Tennis Center with 8 courts. But careful, Rajveer, if you say a lot of information very quickly, you might get into repetition. Might. Okay. Now, it's not bad to do that. You can get a very nice high score doing that. Just make sure you don't run out of ideas, okay, by being a bit too concise, I guess. I'm a little bit careful to say that, but all right. So the game I love to play more than any other is tennis, which is, of course, a sport as well. Now, certainly, by starting with a sentence like this, the examiner is going to really appreciate your cleverness. They're going to go, aha, here's a student that really quickly realized why this card has talk about a game or a sport that you like playing, because some sports are considered games as well. And very cleverly, this student has said, the game I love to play more than any other is tennis, which is, of course, a sport as well. Okay, okay, so you've made that very clear for the examiner now, and now you can keep going. Okay, Alexander really wants to go with that powerlifting, but Alexander, stick with tennis for this class, and we'll move to powerlifting some other time, or you can do that on your own and then just send it to me, okay? All right, so students, let's move along nicely here. I want to give the floor to you, which means I want you to have the chance to build this response. Follow with the next sentence, okay? So time, let's just really go step by step here. So time, okay? I very directly answered the question. The game I love to play more than any other is tennis, which is, of course, a sport as well. Give me the time. Janelle says, I love to play tennis games every morning in my city at the Delhi Indoor Tennis Club. Okay. Janelle, just let's go with time. Let's go with time, okay? And when you think of time, think of reason as well, okay? I'm just going to close my chat because I think some students are requesting to talk with me, and of course I'm not going to divert there. So time plus reason. You should always be thinking reason. That's how you can expand your responses and really get those high marks. And then you can do examples as well, right? So let's see what you come up with. Okay, so give me the next sentence that talks about time, the reason for that time, and the example. So it's not the reason why you play tennis, it's the reason why you play tennis at that time. Okay. So Kyber says I play it 7 days a week in order to maintain my mental health. Sure. Maksu says I've been playing tennis since I was about 10 years old. So, okay, the duration, that's okay. Sure. I've been playing tennis since about the age of 10. It's a nice way to show that present perfect, I've been playing. Present perfect progressive, I've been playing tennis since the age of 10. And then Hassan says, frequently I play tennis 3 days a week at Baghdad Private Club. Let's not get into location yet. With my colleagues at 9 p.m. after a long working day. Okay. To release stress. right, Hassan? You could say that. Sure, we can go with that. Okay. Now, I mean, if you have notes, students, and your notes say, did I not write that down? Like 8 a.m.? I guess maybe not. But I wrote in the morning because it's, oh yeah, we did write that down. So mornings and weekends. Mornings, tennis is great in the mornings because it's cool, right? And because you're burning a lot of calories and it's easy to heat up, it's maybe a good idea. Mind you, if it's an indoor club, then it's probably air conditioned. There's a good chance that it is. Okay. Rajveer says, I play tennis in the evenings for about 2 hours as I do not have enough spare times in the morning due to office work. And it's a great cardiovascular exercise. Let's not mix, Rajveer, the reasons for playing tennis yet, but let's talk about the reason why we play at that time, right? So I see a couple of you saying after work or after school. Sure. I usually play games or matches, right? Here's where you can get a little bit more fancy with your lexical resource. I usually play matches after work for a couple of hours to have fun with colleagues and decompress, or on the weekends in the morning when I'm still fresh and full of energy. Okay, so all I'm doing here is time and reasons for the time. So I've been playing tennis since about the age of 10. As my dad is an avid tennis player, and he signed me up for classes. Okay? So again, reasons, giving reasons, examples, explanations, that's how you can really give a lot of great information to push your band score with further lexical resource and further grammatical range, right? In fact, just yesterday, I had a great game after finishing at the office. Okay? So just like that. All right? Okay, good. Yeah, Dr. Krishna, avid means inspired, or you're good at it and you're into it. It's kind of your favorite type of activity, avid. Okay, yeah, avid means you're good at it, you do it frequently. Okay, Pooja says, it's been a part of my lifestyle since 10 every day. I play in the mornings for 2 hours during weekdays and for 3 hours during the weekends. It not only burns my calories, but gives me some good vibes for the day. Okay, Pooja, you're going into reasons again. It's okay, but you might want to hold off on that until later, okay? So now let's do location plus reason, okay? Plus example if you want. All right, it's good to do those examples. That's how you keep going. So let's do location, reason, example. Okay, go for it. So we have the time, we have the reasons. Now let's do location. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. So Sammy says, don't we want to describe first? We can. Okay. Describing, we might actually want to do it even before. Okay, before time. So describing, I would probably actually, it's a great question, Sammy. I would probably do it here, and it's a good idea, okay? So the game I love to play more than any other is tennis, which of course is a sport as well. It requires at least 2 players with a couple of tennis rackets, lots of tennis balls, and a court with a net. Okay, so I'd put it up there, Sammy. Thank you for reminding me of that, all right? That's why you have your notes, Sammy. That's why you have your notes, because that will help remind you. If you miss it, like students, if you're like, oh, I missed it, I didn't say it at this time, is it okay to say it at this point? Yeah, it is. It's okay. It's okay if you kind of throw that into the mix, especially if you're kind of stuck for ideas and you're like, oh, what should I say? Oh, yeah, of course, describing the sport, what it is. Okay, all right. So, good. Now, location, reason, example. Let's stay with that. I don't want you to divert. That's why I just kind of threw in the description. Okay, so location, reason, example. Give it to me, students. Don't be shy. I loved how fluent you were. Okay, and you've got lots of good ideas, I see, for the experience of why you like playing it. Abhishek says, not only does it help me burn more than 500 calories an hour, but also helps me maintain my figure, Abhishek. It's not my shape of my body, but it's maintain my figure. I'll write that down in the next part, okay? All right. So remember New Delhi Tennis Club, maybe indoor tennis club, location, 8 courts. Why do you play there? Okay. Maksud, in your garden with your family members, it's a little bit awkward, okay, unless you have your own tennis court. Yeah, but I would just stick with what you have. So Hina says, I play in a sports complex as I am a member since 2015. The club organizes great tournaments twice a year to keep members motivated. Very good. Charlie says, I play matches at the nearby Delhi Tennis Club, which is a 10-minute walking distance from my residence. The reason I play this game there is not only because it burns calories, but also, okay, you guys really want to get that in there, energizes me mentally and physically, okay? So I've been a member of my local Delhi indoor tennis club for the past 5 years. So I usually play there. They have very modern facilities. And I can play whether it's rain or shine. Also, the tennis domes are air conditioned, so I don't overheat while playing. In addition, they have 16 courts, so there is usually one available whenever I want to play. All right, so that's just some nice fluency, okay? Samuel says, I usually play at my local tennis court. There are 8 courts in Delhi. Since it's just a few miles from my house, I often walk to it. It helps me to warm up before an active session. Very nice, Samuel, okay? I love how all of you are getting very nice and creative. So you're visualizing that. Samuel, from what you're saying there about walking to the tennis club, helping you warm up for the game, I can tell that you're picturing this. So you can picture yourself going to play tennis, okay? Hassan says there's a cozy club near my home called Tennis Better Than Football. It's just 3 kilometers from my home. I play this game not only to reduce my weight, keep me fit, but also to feel better mentally. Yeah, it's a mental release. Sure. That's what's coming up next. So I think a lot of you are really excited to kind of get into the reason, so the experience of playing tennis and the results. Okay. So I play tennis because I'm quite good at it. I've won a number of trophies. In the past, and it helps me not only to keep my figure, okay, so I think this is for you, Abhishek, not keep my body shape, but in English, the natural way to say that is keep my figure. Okay? So to keep my figure, but also to maintain mental sharpness and clarity. Tennis demands both physical fitness as well as strategy. Or we can even say a great deal of strategy. And then this is kind of like your closing sentence. For these reasons, I love to play the game. Now, I did realize that I kind of forgot something, right? The attendees. Okay. Now, again, if I forget something like this, I love to play the game. You can throw that in at the end, even if you realize that you forgot something and you haven't been stopped. Okay, so the examiner hasn't stopped yet. You can quickly get that in there. This is where I would check the card. And if I check the card, I realize that I missed a question, because not only do we know that events require you to talk about attendees, but in this case, it's the second question, who you enjoy playing it with, right? So you realize that, forgot attendees. So for these reasons, I love playing the game. I most often play it with my dad, my siblings, as well as at times with colleagues and friends. Okay, something like that. All right, and then you'll likely get stopped. Okay. All right, students, so fantastic job. Again, this kind of answer would definitely get you that band 9. If you were to say this nice and fluently, you will get a band 9 for your task 2 response, and you will be on a very good trajectory to a band 9 fluency and clarity for part 3. Here we go, just to recapitulate and practice. Speak and read with me. So those students who feel very confident, comfortable, just close your eyes, listen to my voice, and repeat. Those students who are feeling like they need the help of the words, repeat what I say and read at the same time, okay? So here we go. Describe a game or sport you enjoy playing. You should say what kind of sport it is, who you enjoy playing it with, where you play it, explain why you enjoy playing it. The game I love to play more than any other is tennis, which of course is a sport as well. It requires at least 2 players with a couple of tennis rackets, lots of tennis balls, and a court with a net. I've been playing tennis since about the age of 10, as my dad is an avid tennis player and he signed me up for classes. I usually play matches after work for a couple of hours to have fun with colleagues and decompress, or on the weekends in the morning when I'm still fresh and full of energy. In fact, just yesterday I had a great game after finishing at the office. I've been a member of my local Delhi indoor tennis club for the past 5 years, so I usually play there. They have very modern facilities and I can play whether it's rain or shine. Also, the tennis domes are air conditioned, so I don't overheat while playing. In addition, they have 16 courts, so there's usually one available whenever I want to play. I play tennis because I'm quite good at it. I've won a number of trophies in the past, and it helps me not only to keep my figure, but also to maintain my mental sharpness and clarity. Tennis demands both physical fitness as well as a great deal of strategy. For these reasons, I love to play this game. I most often play it with my dad, my siblings, and as well at times with colleagues and friends. All right, so if you didn't catch that the first time, no worries, students. This video will be available on the channel in about an hour, so you can go back. This reading or this speech is at the end of the video, so you can practice it a few times. You're very welcome, Maksud. Thank you for making the request. Again, students, if you have some requests for task 1, task 2, reading, listening, speaking, just send those to me and I will happily schedule classes as long as you are a member, of course. For all of you watching at home or wherever you are, stay tuned. In 30 minutes. We will follow with speaking part 3, which will be questions related to this topic of part 2. You're very welcome, Bhumi. Everyone, aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Join us there. gieltshelp.com for general. Make sure to use that student partner speaking function for video and audio chat. Absolutely free with other students. I'm sure there are lots of students waiting there for you. Janil, I'm glad you enjoyed that session. You're very welcome, Hassan. Great contribution, students. Dr. Krishna, Hina, thank you so much. Everyone, hopefully see you again in half an hour. Much love to all of you. Bye for now. See you soon.